Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. And today we are honored by a great guest, Nicole Paquin. Let's welcome Nicole. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. So, Nicole is from San Diego, and I'm from Washington, D.C. And we're going to ask about her book. She's a great author, and this is unique, and let's learn from her. Tell me about your journey about writing book, Nicole.
This particular book is first in the series of Sofia Madison series. I write for women. It's women's fiction and it's chick lit, which is a genre which we don't see a whole lot of these days, and it happens to be my favorite. So I came across a story about, I would say, 7 or 8 years ago, and um, I knew I'd always been a writer, and I just knew this was the one that was going to launch my novel, my first novel. So I decided to go to school and gain an education in writing before I put something out there that wasn't effective. So I attended San Diego Writers Incorporated here in San Diego, and I'm still a student there to this day. I participate in a reading critique group led by best-selling author T. Greenwood, and I've been in that for 5 years, which has been instrumental in the development of my writing and my creativity. So um, I'm I'm passionate about what I do. I like to inspire and empower women, and also make them laugh and entertain them, and hope that they can relate to what I'm talking about. And um, there were, many shows years ago that I just loved dearly that I'd like to see more of. So I created a character in the spirit of Sex in the City and Bridget Jones' Diary, um, that women can enjoy and relate to and have a lot of fun with.
Well, that sounds very, very interesting. So tell me also a little bit about, I mean, that is very unique that, you were inspired to actually go to school and learn from the best, how to perfect yourself. I mean, that is amazing, that shows your passion, that you really love writing. So tell me about, is it, you said based on a story or actual event?
Yeah, it's based on actual events. I pull quite a bit from my own personal experiences. I've led a pretty interesting. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to follow my passions, and I've had a bit of an adventurous streak, and I'm spontaneous, and so it leads me in all different types of directions. Occasionally, it gets me into trouble, but live and learn, and that's what this book is all about. It's the title of the book is called Sofia Madison and the Voice Within, um, gearing towards her. The voice within is geared towards her intuitive nature, which I think we all have. And
Mhm.
in this particular instance in her life, she is an adventurous person, and but she was having she was very serious in this time in her life, school and dealing with grief and everything that we all have to. She's a competitive athlete, so she had to buckle down and concentrate, and she just really wasn't having a lot of fun. She was just stressed and burned out, and her best friend she was invited to be in a wedding in Las Vegas,
Okay.
and she thought that was the perfect opportunity to get away and let her hair down, and just for the weekend forget about that voice that you know hinders you from doing so it gets her into a little bit of trouble, but she does have a wonderful the time of her life, and it leads her down a path of twists and turns and passion and romance and love, devastation, intrigue. revenge, redemption. This whole book has a little bit of everything for everybody in it.
Oh, that is such a fascinating. So what you're saying is basically she was had these boundaries to her character, and she was so, but she let it go just for that time, and she discovered new avenues, pretty much, kind of rediscovered or discovered herself, pretty much,
Well,
right?
she learned more about herself, absolutely, but she did uh, allow in a certain character into her life, um, and he turned it upside down.
Okay. Well, and that I want to also ask you, because that's always fascinating. That was that character always with her always, and she never realized that.
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Um,
I'd say, was that character always near her, and she never paid attention?
no, it was a handsome Englishman she encountered at a roulette table in Las Vegas.
Oh, so it was encounter, but with those encounter, always, people can think that they might find something great, or they might find some really bad experience. You absolutely, that's always a risky, you're right.
Right. Well, sometimes what happens in Vegas follows you home. And so it's it's a nail biter. I would say
Uh,
that.
that's it. Okay, so we'll we want everybody to read the book. We don't want to kind of give the summary here, but
There's a lot more to it than that, trust me.
yeah,
I
yeah,
won't give it away.
yeah. No, but I tell everybody, so it's available on Amazon, right? Huh.
Currently, I'll be going wide soon. Uh,
Okay, okay.
as soon as
So
my other book is ready for pre-release. So this is part of a series. So I'm also releasing a prequel to the book. Basically, the development of this woman coming of age and some characters she encounters uh, within her life, and she's a learning about being a woman and learning about men and all of that, everything that goes with that. And she stumbles, she's victorious as well. So it's another one of those. She's an imperfect person, but she's somebody everybody can relate to, and she's so honest and in her experiences and in her thoughts, and she's true of her nature, and so she's a beloved character. She's very well received.
mhm. So, and I want to also ask that, is it because she went to Vegas not to find love, but she went to Vegas because she was just want to relax or something, right?
She just wanted to have a little fun.
Oh, okay, fun, fun. Okay, so but you went there, so because some people go to Vegas to get married,
Right.
because
Well, she went to Vegas to be in a wedding.
oh, in a
But
way,
yeah, she was in a wedding. Her best friend was getting married, and they were having a Vegas wedding. We do
mhm.
that a lot here in California.
Yeah.
Since it's only 4 hours away,
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun for people to have a destination wedding in Vegas. Not necessarily um, getting married by Elvis, which I've been to one of those, and those are fun too. But people do have nice traditional weddings in Las Vegas with a chapel and a priest and the dress and the bridesmaid gowns, and that's what this was.
Uh,
And so she decided to do the wedding and be there. She's the maid of honor, so she's there for her friend. But as soon as all of that is over, she decided to extend out a little bit and stay. She
mhm,
wanted to gamble and have cocktails and see a show and what else followed. She was kind of up for anything.
mhm, mhm. Okay, and yeah, also a lot of people, I know it's true, or so there are in Vegas drive-through weddings. Is that
Yeah, I have a friend that did that.
okay? So it kind of, I know a lot of celebs do that, because I hear there are legally it is easy to get married and leave in Vegas. Is that true? I don't know. I never looked at those. I
It's
mean, lot
very
of
easy to get married in Vegas, but a divorce is divorce,
okay, divorce, divorce.
you know.
Okay, so because I don't know where I read that some of the celebrities fly to or come to Vegas to do that, also gamble and have fun, but
Mhm.
they know that the rules are easier to do both. So
It is, and it's so much fun, and you can have anonymity in Las Vegas because there's so many people there, and there's so much to see. So people aren't necessarily focusing on looking around to see who's there. They're looking around at everything else. Um, and when these two characters meet, they he's a multimillionaire, and he sweeps this woman away, and it's a series of you know lavish getaways, and he's from the UK. He doesn't know much about California or all these different places. So she's like, well, I've never been to Hollywood. Let's go to Hollywood. I've never been to would you like to go to Mexico? Do you want to go ziplining in Catalina on this island off the coast of California? So they have these adventures together, and these two just spend a better part of the year making and falling in love. And but they during these adventures they visit Hollywood, and they visit this I don't know if you've ever heard of the restaurants run by Lisa Vanderpump.
I've heard the name, but never. I've been to Vegas, but not.
She's the main character is a bit of a she enjoys her guilty pleasure television.
Oh,
So she sees all these places on TV through these television shows, and she's like, oh, that looks like fun. I'd love to go do that. So they go to these beautiful restaurants, and they're waited on by celebrities. They bump into celebrities. They have all of these experiences that bond them even closer together. So people from California or people watching all over the United States tend who have seen these types of shows and relate to this type. I write to a specific audience. So um, a lot of my audience members would be Bravo centric people who like that network, who enjoy those type of shows,
mhm.
um, who also enjoy Sex in the City or Bridget Jones. They all kind of tie in together. But there's always a lesson to be learned here, and and some value taken away from the story. It's not just a vapid character. She's got several levels, and I think every woman can relate. But they do have a lot of fun and experience a lot of adventures, and do a lot of fine dining. And so the book is very tactile, so you get all of the information from all of these places. So if you're a foodie, if you're into art, if you're into music, if you're into travel, if you're into there's all these different things that I give you, um, and they're so very detailed
Mhm.
that you feel like you're there with the character.
Oh,
And
that sounds very fascinating. That's definitely fascinating. So tell me, maybe talk a little bit about a few of these, characters where which inspired you actually. Bridget Jones, and you said Sex in the City. So
right,
let me ask you your favorite characters in Sex in the City. Who was
I don't have one. I liked them all.
it?
I think we all have a little bit of each one of us in them, or of them in us. I think we all have a little Carrie. I think we all have a little Miranda. I think we all have a little Charlotte. And I think there's a little Samantha in all of us girls, even though we don't like to admit it.
Yeah.
And I think all of those aspects come out in this main character. But also, the Bridget Jones character is, she's a bit clumsy, and she second guesses herself. And um, I think a lot of us do that as well. So I think it's just human nature, and I think the writers of those shows and those movies did a very very good job bringing forward, how women tick, and you know, I was telling CJ on the podcast the other night. It's a lot of fun to go out and do these things, right? But it's so much more fun to talk to your girlfriends about it and hold nothing back. And that's how we are as women. We like to tell each other things that, oh my gosh, men would be mortified to know what we talk about, but I'm sure we'd be mortified to know what men talk about too. The American culture, it's just the way it is. That's how us girls are. And so if a woman is looking to, you know, feel like she's having an in-depth conversation with her best friend, she should pick up a Sophia Madison book because uh, it doesn't hold anything back.
Mm. Well, I can tell you it's in all cultures. So it's not. I mean, that's how I think a lot of. I mean, men will talk a little bit different. So when men goes out, they'll just play. I mean, they'll play a golf or do something, and then they feel that that's it. Then they don't have to talk a lot. That's the only difference. So women love to just talk, and which is how they feel good about, right? That's normal. So yeah, I've been to with a few friends and where we had combined, and I can see they like to talk, and I think probably women love to talk. They feel more actually at ease when they have just their friends and they get like that's how it is, right?
I
Women.
I personally, I'm just kind of an open book
Mhm.
when it comes to my feelings and my experiences. I've never done anything that I'm ashamed of. So, um, when it comes naturally to me to just tell all. I'm sure I'm reserved in certain areas, of course, everybody is, but
Mhm.
um, and discreet as well. However, uh, like I said, I've been a storyteller since I was
Mhm.
a recognized storyteller since I was very young, and um, applying my nature to my characters, it 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 ends up a good fit on the page.
Mhm. Okay, so also tell me, I'd love to ask you, since you also mentioned a little bit about watching some of the shows, dining places, and to place to eat and have fun, and you were talking about that. So, do you have interest in some of those, watching those shows?
Could you repeat that question? I'm
I say
sorry.
you said you have some interest in some shows, showing fancy restaurants and so forth. Do you love those?
I do. I love the drama that comes through on some of those shows. I've outgrown it a little bit as I've gotten older. It's been around. They've been around for a while. So I think there was. It's. I live 2 hours away from Hollywood. So if I want to go pet the animals in the zoo, it's very easy to just drive up to Hollywood and go to these places where these people congregate. It's a real thing. And so I've experienced that and it's a lot of fun. You're sitting at a table and someone brings you your drinks and you know their entire life's backstory. you know,
Mhm.
it's and that's part of the thrill of it. You feel like you're part of this
Mhm.
show. You feel like you're part of the thrill. And also it's a, upscale environment. It's beautifully decorated. You feel like you're kind of in a whimsical dream.
Mhm.
And the food is delicious. And just so you get this experience, you know, on all these different levels. So you're the thrill of, you know, hunting down movie stars and actors and reality stars. You have that. And then you have the beautiful environment where you get to, stay in a beautiful hotel and then wear your most beautiful clothes and get swept up in the moment and just have a good time. And it's those types of experiences where you forget everything else that's going on in life and you just have the best time of your life.
Hmm. When you're telling me that, it reminds me of that movie. I think where she knew that she had few days to left and she just had fun. I forgot.
The Last Holiday
Yeah,
with
that's
Queen Latifah, yes.
yeah, Queen.
So if you if you like that movie, or like The Holiday, or Love Actually, or I can name a million movies where there's little pieces inspired from the feeling of those types of movies that you're left with when you're done.
Mm.
And that's how this book is. I take you on a journey very similar to one of those. I'd love to have this made into a chicklet movie, or an ongoing series would be a lot of fun.
Oh,
I'm just going to keep working at
we
it
are
and
into
seeing.
we are into making movies, and so I'll be happy to look at. I mean, I love romantic, series. I mean, we watch. We watch a lot of, Lifetime channel. Those. Now the Christmas movies. Right? So they are fun to just watch, and it's
Mhm,
just. I think it feel good. A lot of. I mean,
mhm.
life is a lot of stress for all of us. Yeah, right.
Right.
And you want to see that the aspect which probably somebody might find as a dream, right? So might dreams can come true. You never know.
Right.
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 Yeah,
I
and
Sorry to interrupt.
no,
Go
no,
on.
go ahead.
Uh, well, because of the location of these characters and the things that they're able to do, it's all obtainable, and it's all very, it's all very fantastical, and people, living in the rest of the United States probably can't fathom that this stuff exists, and it's at your fingertips. All you have to do is either get in your car or get in a plane, and it's right there for you to experience. And so there's I the way I go through the story, I basically map it out for people who are interested in stuff like this. You know, they can have these experiences, and their dreams can come true.
Mhm. And that is, we all want that for everyone, because and I always tell, have dreams, because it is so important. Everybody, I mean, when it comes to, you never know, right? But if you don't have dreams, then you're feeling empty, in my opinion, right? so
Right.
so you so you always need to have dream and positive, stay positive, and keep on working on that. And someday it might, like in your story, she never thought she would encounter that person, and she would discover herself, and what she really likes. I think a lot of what I see is, a lot of us are like that, we first of all, we don't know what we want, but but like, we are a little confused about our choices, or when do we feel happy or when do we feel sad. So I see that most of us are in one state, and or most of time. And so if we just pay attention to what makes us happy, or even for a few seconds or minutes or hour, or try to do that, that's all it takes, right? That's all it is. Right. So
Right.
give little time to what makes you happy throughout day. And I tell a lot of my clients to just it's not difficult, just put that sequence that throughout day, and your day will be much better. Your day, your even evening, everything will be better. You'll be a better, you feel good about yourself, actually. So because you feel relaxed, and you're just going. So I think that's where a lot of people find trouble, is they, some love dress, some I mean, they love to dress, some love to eat. Personally, I love eating. So so some love cooking, some just like the environment, they just want to sit and just feel relaxed, right? So but we have to find that, we have to find in ourselves. So that's always, and the stories, I always say, stories of love, stories of passion, and all those, they're always, messages are similar, but how it's narrated, how it's told, or how it is conveyed matters, right?
Yep.
I mean, lovers and romance and always will be same. There is always one message about loving, but how it is narrated, how it is said, and how other people perceive it, that matters, right? So also, so what we are then looking for part two, part three, hopefully.
Yes, the prequel will be out hopefully at the end of spring, and I will go live with both of them at the same time. And then there's a third one coming up. There's going to be four.
Wow.
So I have two in the works at the moment, and I do have to take a trip to London before I write the fourth one.
And why London?
Um, I too have an intuitive nature, and I've had a reoccurring dream um, where I arrive at like a train station in London, and I find my way through the city somehow. And before COVID hit,
Mhm.
I had booked the trip, and when I was looking for my Airbnb,
Mhm.
I was looking through places, and I felt like I recognized them
Oh,
that I've never seen before. There was just an eeriness there, and I feel like something's drawing me there. Um, so
so
I have
there's
this
a like a deja vu.
uh, right. Like I have deja vu, definitely. So uh, and then I went and I started reading, looking at every movie I could possibly think that would make me flash to these areas, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So unfortunately, I had to cancel my trip, but I still plan on going one day and having an experience just by myself and wandering the city and seeing where it leads me. That's
Very
one thing about being a writer.
yeah. On
You can
there's a
you
lot
can
of
hear a
great.
conversation two people are having, at the bar next to you and come up with a story. You can meet a complete stranger and hear what they've been through and come up with a story. You can see a painting that motivates you. You can, the air, the way it smells, the you know the weather, the everything about a new environment can spark the imagination. So that's one of the reasons I'm going. I mostly write about Southern California, and I'd love to get Southern California, Vegas, Mexico, because that's what's I like to make things so descriptive, and the reason I'm able to do that is because I experience it regularly. So it's if I'm writing in an area, I'll just jump in the car and I'll go and go down to Mexico and I'm 40 minutes away from my favorite restaurant that serves fresh lobster and sit in a jacuzzi in an infinity pool and enjoy a margarita and soak it all in, and I'm able to put that on the page.
Mhm. Oh no,
So
that must be very, very, and I think that's what happens with creative mind. You just sometimes feel like you can connect that way, with nature or with whatever story or the angle. It happens. You're absolutely right. Many times I'm walking and I just look outside, and it's the same. I walked that route 10 times, but I never looked on that angle. So you're absolutely right. It just depends if you keep your senses open and you feel the kind of what is around you. Sure. So we'll be really looking forward and come and we'll be happy to introduce your part two, part three, part four from England and all the way. So, but I would love to read it and see if we can think of it'd be a great. If, I'm sure somebody will write make a movie or series on it. So okay, well, congratulations and good luck on your success. And thank you for coming to our show. Any final message you have for audience?
no, I just pick up a copy of the book if you're into women's fiction and just forgetting. It's a fun, fast read. So if you're into forgetting about the troubles of your day for a couple of hours, you just need something to tune into at night, pick up a copy of my book. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of men like me are also reading those books. So
I
we,
do have male readers. I do have a couple. And she's been very well received. So I'm very shocked. I think maybe they're a little fascinated at what us girls are really thinking.
that is true. That is the actual reason. Like women will be too. That what men think really. But that's true. But I can tell that women are thinking more creative than us. So we are less creative. That's for sure. Okay, well, take care. Okay, thank you, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Take care. Hey, thank you.